Man, I'm gonna break my monitor, I swear.
Gamers are everywhere. There are so many games and niches anybody can pick up and play. We all have our start, whether it be the Wii or the Xbox 360 or the DSi, but something that doesn't get talked about enough is all the browser games that used to be available to play. Now, you probably didn't play much at home, but I know for a fact that if you had access to a Chromebook at school, browser games were luxury. Okay, when I was in my last few years of high school, they pretty much blocked every single game site known to man except CoolMathGames. They were running that place like South Korea, so you had to take extreme measures to find games, aka just put it unblocked at the end of each game. But before, we had access to everything. When you weren't playing CoolMathGames and lagging every time an ad refreshed, or you played Run 3, the most comprehensive game a Chromebook could run, you had Who to Math, the cousin of math games, Poptropica, the one game where I never knew what to do, I just walked around, and Space1.io. I mean, come on, bro, the IO games were crazy, and this is all just scratching the surface. I mean, I was in the deep depths of browser games. Guys, I'm not crazy either. There was like a whole market for this. I mean, even Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon were putting out games, you know, all these like browser games that anybody was able to play, and there were like hundreds. I'm talking like Henry Stickmin. Bro, we were able to play FNAF on browser. You would just type in FNAF and bam, you were able to play. But there was one that stood out like above all the rest. It was called FRIV. And every single game you could imagine was on there. It was like Game Pass before Game Pass. Now, this was like the last site I went to, and if you go there now, it's actually just like a shell of its former self, like some AI slop. I don't even know what that is, but before, it was great. And then everything changed during the Adobe shift, where Adobe shut down. You know, a little puzzle at the top of your screen, boom, just gone. You know, you could never ever like get that era back again because it was shutting down. And that's when everything changed. Okay, so if you expected this video to be about why Adobe Flash shut down, sorry, but this is low-key the wrong place. Something about being plagued with structural security flaws and draining mobile batteries. But I more so want to talk about my experiences after Adobe had shut down. So, as you know, teachers and stuff in schools were blocking everything was getting shut down. So I remember one day in class, I was sitting there and I was playing Friday Night Funkin' Unblocked, and it had like a whole bunch of like modded stuff. I wasn't even good at the game, to be honest, but I kind of liked some of the music, so I was sitting there and I just played in the back of class. All of a sudden, the teacher walks up to me and he's like, "Tyler, what are you doing?" And I look back slowly and I tell him, "I'm just playing the game." And I see him clearly looking at the screen, waiting for me to finish. And he asks, "Did you finish your work?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I click on the other tab to show him everything done and finished. And he says, "Oh, okay, good job." And he walks away slowly. Then I come back to class the next day, type in Friday Night Funkin' Unblocked, and it was blocked. They blocked it. They let it go. They caught it. They stole my game from me. And that's when I knew things were serious. People were evil out here. And this was only just the start. They was blocking anything under the sun that caught traction. So you started losing this drive to play anything other than like cool math games.